Y'all, there's been a miracle in the mushroom massacre luncheon case, and we're going to talk about it in today's video. Hello Sofa Squad and welcome back to the sofa. Now y'all will find something a little bit different about this video. I'm actually sitting on a sofa, and y'all, it's a real sofa. It's a retro sofa. It's a Cabana Bay Universal Studio sofa. So we are currently on the second part of our CrimeCon vacation trip, and we are at Universal. So we did Horror Nights last night, and tonight, or today, this morning, it's early morning, we're getting ready to go to Harry Potter Land. So totally cool. But you know what? We're not slowing things down to bring the sofa to tea. So many of you will either A, talk to me at CrimeCon about this or email this to me. And so finally last night when we got to a hotel room, I was able to look through it, and I was like, oh, we gotta talk about this. So let's go ahead and jump into this. Now the way we're gonna do this is we are going to be reviewing an article. It's from Daily Mail. It kind of sums up everything that went on. Now for those who don't know what this case is about, Erin Patterson had I'm gonna call it the luncheon from hell. Okay, let's just be honest. She had her former in-laws over for a beef Wellington luncheon. Her husband, at the time they're separated, he was supposed to come. He dipped out last minute. Her children were away during that time. All very suspicious. She made them a beef Wellington lunch, and it had mushrooms in it, which turned out to be death cap mushrooms. Sadly, 3 of them passed away, but 1 person has survived, and he's been released from the hospital, y'all. So keep this in mind as we read this, and we'll talk about it at the end. What's he have to say? Okay, what does he have to say? Inquiring minds want to know, and I have a feeling we'll get to some of that soon, because all the vibe that he comes out with talking about, well, she acted this way or that way. So just keep that in mind as we read this little update here. So anyway, so let's go ahead and jump in. So the first thing that you're going to see here on the screen is the title of the article. It says Poisonous Mushroom Miracle as Ian Wilkinson is discharged from hospital after Leongatha lunch. Now, we'll just read the little bullet points real quick as well. This is Pastor Ian Wilkinson, 68, discharged from hospital. His church described his recovery as a miracle. I mean, I would too. 3 died following the Leongatha mushroom lunch. Read more. It's by Jesse Hyland and Eliza McPhee for Daily Mail Australia. So let's go ahead and get to the meat and the potatoes, and I guess the mushrooms of the article. So it says that the survivor of a poisonous mushroom lunch that left 3 dead has been discharged from hospital, and what's been described by his church as a miracle. Ian Wilkinson, 68, a local pastor, survived the poisonous beef Wellington dished up by stay-at-home mom Erin Patterson in Leongatha, Victoria on July 29th. I'm probably destroying the Leongatha name. I apologize. He, along with his wife Heather, 66, her sister Gail, and husband Don Patterson, were invited over for lunch as part of a mediation gathering to discuss Miss Patterson's relationship with her estranged husband Simon, who pulled out at the last minute. Now let's pause right there. So now that we know that it's like, because you know, when you hear this, it's like, okay, she's having her estranged or her former in-law, whatever, over for luncheon. And it's like, well, that could be, you know, okay, maybe a little bit weird, but okay. And then it's like, and then 3 of them die. This is where it's like, yeah, this is why we kind of raise an eyebrow first, right, for this kind of stuff, okay? It's just like, Erin, this is really obvious, girl. You know what I'm saying? Now, let's preface this with this. Y'all, she ain't been charged yet, okay? I wasn't there. I wasn't at the lunch. Thank the Lord. So this is all just my opinion, right? We just don't know. Now, let's move on to the third one. Pattersons both aged 70, and Miss Wilkinson died days later. Mr. Wilkinson spent almost 2 months in hospital fighting for his life before he was released from the Austin Hospital in Melbourne, which was revealed on Saturday. The Corumburra Baptist Church, where Mr. Wilkinson preaches, relayed the good news to about 40 churchgoers at a service on Sunday. It says his recovery was described in the service as a miracle in itself. Churchgoers were urged to keep Mr. Wilkinson in their thoughts and prayers as he continued on the mend. Trevor Shaw told Hero's Son that he was glad Mr. Wilkinson had been making progress. It took great joy to us as a fellowship and those who loved him that he is back home, he said. Everyone in this community and even on the outskirts have felt and been praying seriously on their knees about his recovery. Now I'll pause there. I mean, of the world as well, right? Y'all, honestly, I'm shocked that this man lived. Obviously thankful. Y'all, I mean, he's late 60s, and this mushroom is seriously poisonous, right? So the fact that he was able to survive, it's a miracle. It's shocking, but it's obviously good. So let's continue. And those prayers have been answered. He's home. It's still in progress, but what a wonderful thing. Mr. Shaw said the community hoped to find closure soon as they waited for the results of the police investigation. He acknowledged it would be a difficult time for Mr. Wilkinson after losing his wife. A family statement was released confirming Mr. Wilkinson had been discharged from hospital. The Wilkins family would like to extend their heartfelt thanks to the Leongatha, Dandon, Nong, and Austin hospitals for their unwavering dedication and exceptional care that played a pivotal role in Ian's recovery, it read. The medical team's expertise and compassion have been a source of comfort and hope throughout this journey. The family also thanked the local community members of the church and other loved ones. Now moving on, it says the collective kindness has been a pillar of strength for Ian and the family, reinforcing the sense of unity and compassion that defines our community, they said. Daily Mail Australia revealed last month Mr. Wilkinson only likely survived because he was rushed to a hospital known for its expertise in treating patients suffering from poisonings. I mean, that's a miracle, because you do start wondering, well, why did you survive? What happened? There you go. A hospital insider told Daily Mail Australia said that Mr. Wilkinson had been transported to the Austin Hospital, recognized as the go-to hospital for Victoria's most critically ill patients, for one specific reason that likely saved his life. The Austin was not the natural hospital to go to. From Leongatha, the closest hospital is Monash Medical Center. That's where they normally go. They've basically gone to the hospital the farthest away they could, source said. The main intensive care unit, and you need the best. You go to the Alfred or Royal Melbourne. They haven't done that either. The state's poison center is at the Austin, so that's why he's gone there. Now let's go on to the last thing. This is Erin Patterson had earlier told police that the mushrooms were used in the lunch were a mixture of button mushrooms bought from a supermarket and dried mushrooms bought from an Asian supermarket in Melbourne months earlier. The homicide squad is investigating the incident. Ms. Patterson has denied any wrongdoing, and Daily Mail Australia is not suggesting she intentionally poisoned her 4 relatives. Now, they have been very good about this. Who's they is Daily Australia and the media for making sure to say, look, she's not been charged, we're not, assuming whatever, and this is true because she has not at this time. Now I want to touch on a couple of things with this. First of all, obviously, thank God he's alive. Secondly, can you imagine waking up and your 3 family members, you find out they're dead after this luncheon? This poor man at this age and stage in life is getting up out of this serious situation, which is going to be, I can't imagine you just are back to skipping down the street, right? Your wife and sister-in-law, brother-in-law, I mean, my heart breaks. Now, let's get to the other part. Y'all, when I tell you that I am literally perched and waiting to hear what this man has to say. The fact that she had this luncheon, the fact that the husband backed out the last minute, the fact that the children were sent wherever not to be there, the fact that all 4 of them got deathly ill. Now remember, Erin will claim, oh, I checked into hospital too, but it was almost like an upset stomach in comparison to this, right? Now we don't even know. Nothing's come out about, oh yeah, she tested positive for the death cap mushrooms too. I think she probably did something, right? Because she clearly basically checked herself in. They're like, no, bro, you got upset stomach. You can go on now. You know what I'm saying? It was not as serious as this, obviously. The children allegedly had the leftovers the next day, and she scraped the mushrooms off the plate. So many of you have chimed in about beef Wellington and whatnot, and that's the thing too, where it's like, how do you scrape the mushrooms off of this? It's cooked into the dish. Now, remember, she was like, oh, I'd set these up and let everyone pick their thing. That is going to be a huge part of what I want to hear come from Ian. How was the selection of the plates made? What was the vibe? Was she like, y'all can pick your plates from these 4 right over here. I've already made mine. Wink, wink. You know what I'm saying? How did that part go down? Because that to me is going to be a huge indicator. If he's like, oh no, it was all in one big dish, we all just jumped in and even Erin got some, and it'll start to be more like, well, maybe she really did accidentally do this and just happened to get a lesser poisonous part of it. You know what I'm saying? Those are the things I want to know. How were the dishes served? Secondly, what was the content of the conversation? Okay, it was a mediation about the relationship, with basically how's this going to work or whatever. how did that go? Was she like, because this is what I imagine. Now let's go down the road, and again, this is just not fact anything. If this was intentional, was she acting like, almost like, how some of the criminals in these cases who take people's lives and do these crazy things to them, and it's like that they're getting off on that power that they had over another human being. And so was that dynamic here with Erin, like almost like that, I know what I'm doing to you, smarmy kind of a thing? Or was it, oh my God, what are we gonna do? Because it just seems like if this was intentional, that it was either a scenario of like, I'm going to make everyone sick and be the savior and come to everyone's rescue, or I'm gonna get back at you all. Because remember, the husband was supposed to be there. Then the next thing, if it is intentional, why would you take everyone out? It's so obvious. You know what I mean? Like, why would you do that? That's what makes me think it's a mixture of something. Because to me, she's supposed to be this, meticulous, person. I'm like, well, then who would go down this path, right, of obviousness? It just seems so obvious. But again, I think when Ian, and if he does, speaks out, this is where we'll see some of where the charges are going to go. Now, the time of this recording, I don't know if he's in a situation where he's already been able to speak to the police and do their thing and yada yada. He could have, and they might be like, we don't really have any strong evidence. Remember, she's talking about, I got these mushrooms from a little Asian market and a little this and that. They're supposed to be button mushrooms. She's already a forager. Her and her husband did this. So it's like, well, why are you going out and getting stuff, and how would you not recognize this? And places are like, there's no way a market would accidentally sell these, and she's like, I don't really remember the name of it. There's a lot of very suspicious things surrounding that. So that being said, I'm curious what you think. So let me know what you think in regards to what is a key point of interest for you when it comes down to what is going to happen and what we find out from Ian, what I'm saying, to dictate where the rest of this goes. So anyways, if you are still watching, I greatly appreciate it. Telepathically send Roscoe some sofas back home in North Carolina by dropping them in the comment section, okay? And that's it. Again, thank you for being here. And thank you for visiting our new little sofa here. And until we meet down in the comment section with those Roscoe sofas and this sofa, I'll see y'all there.